Okay, hi everybody. This is our 15th week doing Macro Monday. It's kind of amazing. I didn't know it was going to go on this long. And thank you for joining me. Tonight we're going to talk about facial diagnosis. And as you can tell, I have a cold. It started, I think it started Friday. I was working all week in a very, very cold building, and I was freezing all day long for 4 days, 5 days. And then Friday, finally, I started getting chills, or maybe Thursday night chills and achiness and so on. And then it's turned into a cold. So anyway, the diagnosis talk tonight is timely, at least for me. So first of all, before we get into tonight's topic, I just want to review the basics. So, which we all know, but I'm going to review them anyway because you can't hear this stuff enough times. Eating meals at regular times if you want to promote your healing and your stability, your blood sugar, keeping your blood sugar levels balanced, and your mood swings from getting out of control. Make sure you have meals at regular times. So, breakfast between 7 and 8, lunch or earlier. Lunch, 11:30 to 12:30. I find having lunch, starting to have lunch at 1 o'clock is already too late, and then dinner, 5 to 7, and then nothing, no food 3 hours before going to bed. And you should always sit when you're eating. Don't stand or be doing other things when you're eating. So concentrate on what, it's a time for mindfulness. So concentrate on your food for the 20 minutes that you're sitting, and don't eat in the car. Don't eat while you're watching your computer or while on the telephone, etc. Then it's a good idea to take a half-hour walk outside on a daily basis, no matter what the weather. Just a walk, an aimless walk is best. In nature is ideal. If you have a park nearby, or you have, a conservation area or something, that's ideal. But just walking outside so that you can, recharge yourself and get rid of build up static in your body, and clear your head. And also, it does wonders just in terms of your whole metabolism and everything. And I'm sure you can look online for the studies on just the benefits of just walking alone and doing nothing else. Then you should do the body scrub, which is taking a hand towel or something bigger than a hand towel and dipping it in hot water in the sink and scrubbing your body from head to toe once or twice a day. That also improves circulation, uh, accelerates healing, and gets rid of old fat in the body. Uh, what else did we talk about? Yeah, being organized. I'm just going to cover that generally. Being organized. Think ahead. Think of what your meals are going to be looking like through the week. It doesn't have to be precise if you're not that type of a person. And making sure you give yourself time to soak your beans, soak your grains, and preparing enough food all the time so that you're never left without food in the fridge. Make sure you pack your lunch the night before from dinner leftovers. And yeah, always stay ahead of yourself. Always have food on you so that you don't get caught at the food court wandering around thinking, fantasizing that there's something there that you can eat that will make you feel better, because there isn't. So even if you bring something, after dinner, sometimes you're not hungry. And so you can go, I'm not going to be hungry tomorrow. I mean, that's what I would do. I'm not going to be hungry tomorrow. I'll be fine. No, just pack a box, put it in your purse or in your car or however you transport it, and you'll feel much better for having brought your lunch the next day. Okay. I guess that's those are the general rules. If on top of lifestyle guidelines, on top of um, the food, the preparation of the food and the quality of food and so on. It's just as important, if not more important, especially meals at regular times. And we discussed that in our previous webinars. Okay, so we're going to talk about facial diagnosis today. But before we get into that, I want to just introduce you to the concept of constitution versus condition. So constitution, when we say, oh, that person has a weak constitution or that person has a strong constitution, that's kind of what you're born with. So people with strong constitution or a stronger constitution have a bigger bone structure. They might have wider cheekbones. They may have more fuller, bushier, oops, more fuller, bushier eyebrows. Um, they Their ears, people with stronger constitution have larger ears with earlobes and preferably big earlobes that hang down, like Buddha's. That's an indication of longevity and strong constitution because minerals deposit, we have minerals in our body. So if you have lots of minerals in your body, they deposit in the earlobes and the earlobes hang down. And some people say that earlobes grow or get bigger throughout your life. I think that they can. I'm not sure if they do in most cases because often, um, you know, people's diet is such that there aren't going to be more minerals accumulating in the body throughout our modern day lifetimes. But if you switch to a macrobiotic diet, then chances are good that even your ears, which are a sign of constitution, can improve. So that tells me that your constitution, we've always been taught that constitution, that's what you've been dealt with at birth, and there's nothing there's not much you can do to change your constitution. But I disagree with that. I think you can change your constitution very gradually throughout your life. Your constitution should improve if you're on a macrobiotic diet as time goes by. The only thing you can't really change is your date of birth, I think. You can even change your height. If you're eating a more balanced diet, you're not going to be shrunken, you're not going to be tight, even your height can even improve. Sometimes we talk about someone has a stronger constitution who has a wider face or a square face or a round face versus a triangular face or a more oval face. Um, Flatter noses, more like indigenous people's noses, that shows a stronger constitution with the bigger nostrils. The size of the mouth, smaller mouth, tighter lips, stronger we can get into the size of the mouth. The smaller mouth will show that that's a stronger constitution, generally. The spacing of the eyes can determine your constitution, and the direction of your eyebrows. But I found after being macrobiotic for many years and knowing a lot of people who have been eating this way for many years, those things can all change, maybe slightly, but just they can change, right? So we're not going to get too hung up on whether you have a weak constitution or a strong constitution. The 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 idea is that if you have a weak constitution, people with a weak constitution, they're more fragile, and so they take better care of their health throughout their life because they feel the cold, they feel the heat, their intestines maybe don't work so well, so they're always taking care of themselves. People with stronger constitutions can get away with more, but they tend to damage their constitutions because they're not paying enough attention. So that's kind of the trade-off. People with weaker constitutions take better care of themselves. People with stronger constitutions tend to be more reckless in their dietary approaches or lifestyle approaches because they don't feel the discomfort as much as someone with a weak constitution. But anyway, having said that, we're going to talk about condition now. So condition is different from constitution. So condition, we say, changes from day to day, week to week, month to month. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, or focus on tonight. There's this book, I don't know if it's still in print, by Michio Kushi. It says it's How to See Your Health, the Book of Oriental Diagnosis. It's very old. It's even got masking tape on it. And then there's two other books by Michio. Facial Diagnosis, your face never lies, and then there's another one that's called Your Body Never Lies. So look for those books on Amazon. I think they're still around. I couldn't find Your Face Never Lies, probably because I've just moved out of the center and everything's still a bit of a jumble. Anyways, those are excellent books, just to give you an overview. So conditions. So we can we'll take different aspects on our face and talk about what we can see when we look at ourselves in the morning objectively. So when certain conditions, so say you're born with a strong constitution, but you wreck your constitution. So certain things about your condition can become so ingrained that they look like they're part of your constitution, right? But that's not necessarily the case because these are the things that can change. So also, when we talk about facial diagnosis, it doesn't preclude medical tests. I'm not saying, oh yeah, you have to learn how to diagnose your face and don't go to the doctor. No. Facial diagnosis is just to help you look at tendencies, okay, that you might be a tendency, something that you can look at in yourself to see what direction you're moving in. Okay. So you should look in the mirror and you should look for things or feel for things like circles under your eyes, swollen lips, sticky eyes, the color of your face, where are your pimples, what changes do you need to make today, what are you seeing on your face that's revealing what you've been eating over the past week or so, and what remedies might you need to take for a few days. Okay, so just in terms of this cold that I have, it didn't really start. I mean, if I look back, and it's just a simple cold, but if I think, oh yeah, I got sick on Friday. Well, not really, because if I'd been paying attention for the past couple of weeks, I was feeling aches in my gallbladder meridian, and gallbladder meridian goes, on the side of your neck and over your head. And I was feeling stuffiness in my sinuses already, but I didn't do anything about it. I just carried on. And so then my cold happened. But if I'd been paying closer attention, I would have taken the time, taken some remedies to reverse those symptoms, right, before they manifested themselves. But I didn't, so now I'm just discharging, discharging the usual route. Okay, so first of all, an important concept in macrobiotics is Sanpaku. And for those of you that don't know, Sanpaku means, and I can't work the presentation board on my, oh, maybe I can, just a second. Sanpaku, let's see if I can do this. Sanpaku means white of the eyes on draw. Okay, so here's the eye. No, that's the iris. So here's the eye. These are the eyelids that I'm drawing. Not bad. Okay. Okay. So the iris. Then this is the other eye, which is going to be like this. This. Okay. So Yang Sanpaku is like Sanpaku means whites on three sides. Okay, so this is the white part of the eyeball, and this is the white above the iris. Okay, so when babies are born, when they first open their eyes, this is what you see. You see this iris sunk deep into the bottom lid, and you see white at the top of the eye. As a child grows, or within a very short period of time, that iris becomes centered properly in the eye. In a healthy eye, oops, should be like this. Okay, okay, the eye is wobbly, but you get what I mean. So this is, oops, that's the center of the eye, the iris, okay? And this is yin sanpaku. That's when you can see the white on the bottom of the iris, okay? So both of these conditions are have to do with the nervous system. So this is what we call yin sanpaku. So that happens close to death. So when you're close to death, your eyeballs recede up into the upper lid. Okay. So yin sanpaku is caused by, yes, too much yin food, too much sugar, coffee, alcohol, um, sweets, drugs, um, nightshades, I guess, but just maybe sugar, coffee, alcohol, and sweets in general. And yang sanpaku is too much animal food, too much salt, and so on, the heavy foods. This is the balanced eyelid. So President Kennedy was yin sanpaku. He had many health issues, as we know now. And George Osawa wrote to him, I think it got published somewhere, and warned him about his impending violent death. And he was right. So in the Far East, this shows both of these are extremes, extreme yin and extreme yang. So if you have that condition, just look in the mirror, look straight ahead. If you can see even a little bit of the bottom or even a little bit of the top, then you have to make some changes. Just start making some changes to your diet to go in the other direction. So I was yin sanpaku when I started. Pretty bad yin sanpaku actually. And then I don't know, it took a very long time. But then one day I looked in the mirror and I was no longer yin sanpaku. But then I had a tendency for yang sanpaku. So that's more like what I'm dealing with now, like more overly yang condition. So anyways, watch out for that. That's number one, because this reflects your nervous system. So the condition of your nervous system um, reflects what you attract, right? Okay, so that's my attempt at drawing Sanpaku. Okay, so bear that in mind. That's really important. And Sanpaku can change. Doesn't change overnight, but it will change. And you can see if people have a fever, if children have a fever, their eyes will tend to go more like this. Okay, people that are sick will be like this. Drug addicts will be like this. Okay, killer aggressive types are like this. Okay, violent, aggressive. You know those guys with those wiry guys, those wiry violent guys. Like this is the Sanpaku. The drug addicts are like this. Okay, they're both scary and dangerous in their own way. Okay. Okay, then next, so you're going to look at your condition. This condition takes a while to change. So then also you're going to look at underneath your eyes. So, okay, let's see if I could just get rid of this. How can I get rid of it? Can I just close this maybe? Oh, oops. Oh, shoot. No, no, no. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do the eyes. Just a regular eye. Okay, so these are the things that will change day to day. Under the eye like this area here, okay? So you're going to look there for discoloration, and even around here on the inside of the nose and up into here. Is this blue or purple or green or yellow? Okay, this shows the condition of the kidneys and the adrenals. So oftentimes these areas, initially especially, or if you're tired, but just generally from eating too much sugar or yin, this will become bluish, okay, or dark circles here. So look for that. You know, if you don't sleep properly, you're going to have dark circles under your eyes. That's just logical. Then you're also going to look for little pimples, like little pimples. If you have white pimples in here, it means that you're accumulating dairy in the kidneys. Okay, those go away with proper diet. If there's puffiness under the eye, that's if it's hard puffy, that means dairy food. If it's soft puffy, it's probably too much liquid or too much yin, like too much fruit, too much, just too much liquid or wet food, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's what you're gonna look for, and that will change. Maybe not day to day, but week to week, that can change if you make changes to your diet. Okay, so this is I'm terrible at drawing, but anyway. So then, I wish I could erase this, but let's see if I can erase. Okay, so you got that with the eye. This is diagnosis is a uh, very deep study. I'm just giving you like really the Coles Notes version of this tonight. So just to give you a taste. Okay. Then you can check the condition of your liver. So this is your nose. Nose. And this is the eyebrows. Okay, right up here, of your nose, you might see one or two lines or more lines. This shows the condition of your liver. Okay, if your liver is tight, you're going to get these lines up here. Okay, most of us, well, speak for myself, have them. It's caused by stress, by too much salt, too much baked flour products, not enough vegetables, not enough relaxation, not enough nature, okay, in general. Okay, so that's the liver. You can also look for pimples and discolorations there, and that'll give you also a sense of the condition of your liver. Okay, any questions? Questions? Oh, there's a free PDF for Your Body Never Lies. Okay, that's great. And Susan's downloaded it on her computer. Oh, that's even better if you can get it for free. Yeah, it's really worth looking at. Okay, that's a terrible, sorry, that's very terrible. Oops, I just drew here, but okay. So I'm going to spare you the drawings and I'm just going to talk. Okay, get rid of this. Go away. Okay, so then, okay, so we got under the eyes, we've got the liver lines are here. The forehead, if there's lines, a lot of people have deep lines on the forehead. That's normal. But little lines or discolorations on the forehead, that's indicative of the bladder. And above the eyebrows, some people have like thickness above the eyebrows. People that aren't macrobiotic generally and who are still eating lots of animal food, that thickness over the eyebrows reflects the condition of your large intestine. And if it's really thick, it means that it's packed with animal food, animal food, animal food. And a lot of drug addicts have that. The drug addicts that I know who are not from the courthouse, who are not like regular people, they're extreme. Okay, so that's the forehead, the liver lines, the kidneys. The cheeks are the lungs. Okay, so if you see tightness in the cheeks, pimples on the cheeks, anything like that, that shows some kind of imbalance in the lungs. And but don't let any of this alarm you. Okay, just look at it. It's just interesting. See where the pimples come. The chin. Lots of people, lots of women especially, have pimples on the chin, and that's the reproductive organs. Okay, so that shows the condition of your uterus. And sometimes it's hormonal, right? It goes from the time of month. It depends what time of month it is and whether you have pimples there or not. But if you do have pimples, then you know that there's accumulation in the reproductive organs, and you should deal with that. And the color of the pimples also show different types of accumulations in the body. Like red pimples are more yin. Um, um, Yellow is like dairy food. You know, there's different diagnosis for different colors. Um, so the nose, that's a classic one, and maybe you probably know this without even knowing that you know it, but the tip of the nose shows the condition of the heart. And the stereotype of the guy with the big red nose, the alcoholic. Yeah, because the heart, when you drink too much alcohol, the heart becomes expanded and inflamed, and it reflects on the tip of the nose. Not just redness on the tip of the nose, but also tightness on the tip of the nose, uh, pinched looking, um, um, whiteness or grayness on the tip of the nose. That's almost a more serious condition because it means that there's no circulation in the heart if the tip of the nose becomes um, gray or bluish or purple. That's that to me is worse than a red nose. Anyways, that's what you look at for the heart. Um, and the lips. Okay, the lips are one of the most interesting um, and change very quickly in macrobiotics. The lips reflect the intestines. So the lips should be um, even. So the upper lip and the lower lip should be the same size. The lips should be, you can, you can look at somebody and know their character if they've got lips that are firmly shut or lips that are droopy, right? The more person that's, like the general has thin lips that don't move, or somebody like a singer that has big, wide yin lips, right? Different type of personalities are reflected in that. Anyway, so, but for our purposes, the lower lip, it reflects the condition of the large intestine. Inside, like if you open up the lower lip, the inside shows the condition of the small intestine. The upper lip is the stomach. So what you want to look for, so when you start macrobiotics, sometimes the lips are different sizes. Sometimes one part of the lower lip is inflamed, or sometimes there's a dark spots on the lips. Those all show conditions in the large intestine, and those can change, right? As the intestines improve their condition, the lips even out in size. So sometimes the upper lip is really, really tight, which shows contraction in the stomach, stomach pancreas area. So we don't like to see an overly tight upper lip. So that means that you need to relax your internal condition. And I'm going to say that if you're eating a good macrobiotic diet, the condition of the lips will change pretty dramatically, but depending on where you start at, within 6 weeks to 2 months. I mean, I've seen it in other people. I've seen it in my family members and so on. And I mean, somebody I know had a big discoloration on one side of her lip, and it was very swollen and protruding. And then within about 6 weeks or so, the swelling went down, the discoloration went away. So this is all to help you look at yourself and actually mark your progress, right? So sometimes it's good to know these. It's good to know a little bit of facial diagnosis because you can catch things before they get out of control. Okay, next. Oh, then you can also look at your overall color of your face. Like, are you pale? Are you are you flushed? Are you yellow? Are you green? You don't want to be green. But if you're yellow, you could it's a liver condition. You know, there's different colors that reflect different imbalances in the body. If your color is darker, it could be a kidney issue. Okay, so okay, any questions? This is like the most concise facial diagnosis lecture ever. You can spend 4 hours just talking about eyes. In fact, in this book, it's very interesting. Oh, just a second. I was just going to show you. These are all the various kinds of eyebrows, like a whole page, various kinds of eyebrows. Now, eyebrows, oops, a whole page on eyebrows. So eyebrows are generally considered to be constitutional, but eyebrows can change too, right? Nothing is in stone. So it's a very detailed study. It's a very deep study. And if you're interested, it's very worthwhile pursuing and getting those books because it goes hand in hand with taking charge of your own health, right? Being able to um, assess yourself before it turns into something. Like if I had paid attention to my body 2 weeks ago, I would have done something about it, but I wasn't, so I didn't. And so I have this cold. I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out. Um, the other way that's an easy, um, I think it's an easier way to diagnose for me. I prefer meridians. So we have 12 meridians in the body, and each they're paired. Um, they're paired. Like we have kidney and bladder. They're two meridians, but they're paired organs. Kidney, bladder, lungs and large intestine, heart, small intestine, liver, gallbladder, and I'm missing one. Stomach, spleen, pancreas. Okay, so I prefer the meridian system. I find that very precise for me. So you can double check your facial diagnosis with what's going on in your meridians. So if you start feeling aches or tightness anywhere in your body, if you can, if you have a meridian chart, if you know anything about meridians, you can easily pinpoint what's going on and what organ is out of balance. So once you know, we have an idea what organ is out of balance, then you can go to your remedies and go, oh, maybe for a few days I should be taking some dry shiitake, right, to relax the liver, or maybe taking um, a greens juice, for your liver, or maybe taking sweet vegetable drink because your blood sugar or your stomach, spleen, pancreas is too tight and creating problems in your stomach meridian, which is next to your knees, and so on, right? So we have all these things at our fingertips, and these are not the only two methods of diagnosing, right? Um, your hand, for example, reflects your whole body. Your ear reflects your whole body. If anybody's taken reflexology, your feet, there's points on your feet that refer to different parts of your body. So you can use any of these methods, right, for self-diagnosis. And not just for self-diagnosis, but also for healing, right? So if you have, I mean, that's the whole principle behind shiatsu is, uh, you can diagnose, but you can also heal by pressing on the points. You diagnose and, oh, that point hurts. Oh, this this organ is out of balance, and by massaging the point or pressing on it or applying acupuncture or applying moxa, you put the organ back in balance. So it's a very fascinating lifelong study. And if you're interested in learning more, you should join our culinary medicine program. And level 1 is starting September 30th. Let's see. Oh, my great drawings. Okay, no, my drawings, my I have to go to the Apple store because my computer is not allowing me to put things on for some reason. I can't put a presentation on anymore. I don't know why. Yeah, it's a lot to take in, and I've given very, very little, but it's okay. It's just to whet your appetite and to let you continue with your studies, or if you have any questions. And what would I have taken if I had been paying attention? Um, well, okay, so a lot of things are happening. So the center closed down, so I spent like 4 or 5 days kind of with help from good friends actually, moving and cleaning and running around. So that was one thing. Then oh yeah, working in that freezing cold environment. So I wasn't paying attention at all. I was too busy kind of. So I was basically just stuffing my face with my food, and I ate out a number of times as a result of all that. I would have taken it easier if I could have, like, to taken more time to rest. But I think I would have done um, um, dried daikon shiitake. That's what I should have done. And I would have stopped eating corn chips, which is the other thing that I did. Because eating, when you get over yang, then you start eating over yang. I don't know. I mean, I know why, but that's what I did. And I had company one night, and we had I kind of made Mexican food, and I bought corn chips, which was fine. But I bought 2 bags of corn chips in case the kids came over. But then I ate them all, so that was not good either. So should have been paying more attention to what I was doing. But dried daikon shiitake, maybe just daikon, just grated daikon in hot water for a couple of mornings would have relaxed me. Um, More vegetables generally. So that's goes for me. As soon as I get too busy, I cut down on vegetables, which is, contrary to what I preach. Okay, any other questions? Okay, no questions. So I'm going to sign off, or do you want me to go put it on discussion mode? I'm going to stop recording those. So I'm not sure what the topic is going to be next week, but I'm open to suggestions. I thought maybe we could start on meridians, maybe start one meridian at a time, and or double, a set of meridians at a time, and go from there. So maybe next week we can start with liver, gallbladder. Okay. So good night, and I'm going to put you on